The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 12th day of September 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Mia Chambray, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break. Mia, how are you?
Jamal.
Hi.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Why, thank you. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. I very much appreciate the serenade. Thank you.
I didn't want to hit you up on WhatsApp this morning because I was cooking up a little serenade for you. So happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Mia. Thank you. And I know I have not been able to respond to like a lot of messages yet, but I will. If it's one thing I do, anyone who takes the time, whether it's an email, a text, whatever, I respond. I remember Facebook back in the day, 400 people sent something. I responded to 400 people because to take the time to just wish me well is something I don't take for granted. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Another year around the sun. You're a Virgo. That's why we get along so well.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing.
Very good thing.
These rude 20-year-olds, Teray Tull says, happy 60th birthday to Jamel. It's something about those 20-year-olds. Kathy Rogers, thank you so much. She says, happy birthday, Jay. And Mark Arthur C. Phillips, you know what? I want a birthday gift. I never ask for much, but folks, please, as he said, good morning, TDH fam, but please subscribe, consider becoming a member, hit the likes, and smash the notification bell. Yes, please do that.
Yes.
Kristen Souza says, happy birthday, Jamal. Thank you, Kristen. You are appreciated. Thank you much. And Mark Arthur C. Phillips, happy birthday, fam. And Suzanne Ingham, awesome Thursday, Jamal, Mia, and Maya. Happy birthday, Jamal. David Michael Wilson says, 60 is too young even for Jamal. You all.
Savage.
Goodness. Charles H. Jeffs II says, happy birthday, my brother. Thank you. Manuel John says, happy birthday, Jamel. And David Michael Wilson, happy birthday nonetheless. And Deborah Painter says, happy 60th, Jamel. A blessed day to you. Yeah, I mean, if I'm 60, I don't know what that makes you all, but I'm gonna own it, Mia.
Oh my gosh, Jamal's been using his casein products, putting on his sunscreen every day.
There you go. Well, the show isn't about me, folks. So we have some conversations, and I'm grateful to make it another year. And I'll speak about that a bit later. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making this part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome the president of Global Atlantic Re, Darryl Herrick, back on the show that we're discussing this year's Wave of Opportunity pitch competition. Again, I think it was the last year or the year before where the TDH team, we were watching it online. It's really fun. I don't know if you're all fans of Shark Tank, but that's what it reminds me of. So I'm looking forward to the pitch competition this year, and I hope everyone supports and watches and cheers for their favorite person, even if it's me. Another birthday gift you can give me. But don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community and help us. You know what? I said this on the anniversary show. Become accessible to as many Bermudians as possible. It's time. This show is not just for us. It's for everyone. In moving our community forward. And in saying that, I think it's important to get right to today's question, which is around the cabbies. I was watching the news, and this is actually my first birthday in Bermuda in probably 15, 16 years, right? So,
Oh,
yeah, it's been a while. But I was watching the news last night, Bermuda Broadcasting, and I saw, it started with a very unhappy gentleman. So I said, what is he talking about? Basically, he was a cab driver and he was very upset. And I'm going to read from the Royal Gazette. It says, cabbies demand government put brakes on ride sharing. And the government has the authority to step in and prevent illegal ride share services from operating on the island. The Bermuda Taxi Owners and Operators Association has claimed last night a government spokeswoman responded, the best way to prevent unregulated rideshare apps from trying to enter the Bermuda market is to fix the transportation challenges faced by our visitors and residents during peak times. She said consultation was ongoing to introduce rideshare regulations that will not compete with the taxi industry, but would run in tandem with local operators. So that said, now, Mia, you've seen it. You've seen people at the airport, long lines, people waiting for taxis. But we also know that taxis feel like they've had the short end of the stick from government over the years. Question for the audience is, what can we learn from the taxi situation in Bermuda, the current situation in Bermuda? What can we learn? And here's a yes or no question. Do you support ride sharing in Bermuda? Do you support ride sharing in Bermuda? So we've spoken about ride sharing on this show before. We're now months or probably a year past that, but what can we learn from the taxi situation in Bermuda? Because I don't think this is just a taxi situation. I think the way we respond to this may actually reflect how we respond to other things as well. So what can we learn? Yeah, what can we learn? And again, do you support it? Like, do you support ride sharing in Bermuda? Do you support it? Uh-oh, Mia.
I don't know. I find it such a difficult line to toe because I think, to in fact become a taxi driver and to have a taxi license it's a really, really big investment. So, and also to have a taxi on the road, etc. So it's a very big economic investment for taxi drivers. So then to just kind of go underhand and say, okay, now just say I wanted to do it. Okay, Mia, you can go ahead and do this ride sharing. You don't have to pay any of the fees. You don't have to get a taxi license. You don't have to, get special allocation from TCD. You can just go ahead and use your Peugeot, your 20-year-old Peugeot, and just chuck people in the back and off you go. So, I can, that to me is, I feel like why the tax, and, it's not my livelihood also. I'm just thinking, like, as a musician, if someone were just to come up and say, oh, I've just got this guitar I just started playing 5 minutes ago, let me just come up here and just basically take your gigs, I'd be like, I wouldn't be very happy about that. I would just be like, okay. And everyone just throwing up their hands and saying, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about it. I just think it's that being a taxi driver, there's a lot to it. There's a lot that you put in. There's a lot of that you've done. There's a lot of historical, like lots of people and their families have been taxi drivers for many generations. So I just think it's very, 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 very nuanced. But then on the other side of things, we had tourists in the shop the other day that said they couldn't get a lift. They couldn't get it. They couldn't get anything from anybody. They tried Hitch. They tried calling the taxi service. They tried to get the bus, and all of it just failed. So they basically said we were all dressed up with nowhere to go. So it was kind of, so it's a catch-22 really. What do you think, Jimmy?
I think I'm with you, and I'm glad you went first because you made it easy for me.
It's hard. It's a really hard one, and I in my heart of hearts, I stand with the taxi drivers because I don't want anybody to get food taken away from their family. So that's where I stand. I do stand with the taxi drivers. If it came down to it, I'd have to stand with them. But then I'm trying to. Yeah, sorry, Jamal. Go ahead.
No, I'm with you. I think Mia. It's you mentioned the investment, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's still like $100,000 to $120,000 just for the license. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's a huge investment. To make that investment and then kind of feel like well, government's going to allow others to come in and pretty much take from that pot that you were hoping to, repay yourself or make, money off that investment. It feels messed up. However, I do see the other side. We don't have to look far to see how many people are always looking for a cab, right? You've got people looking for cabs. You've at the airport, we see locals and visitors say, look, there's this long line at the airport or so on. I don't know how to fix this. I'm not in the industry, so I'm speaking from the outside looking in. The cab drivers I know are always busy. Like when I say always busy, my best friend's one, uncle, they're always on the go. So I cannot. Is it that we don't have enough cabs on the road anymore?
Well, that's my question. So do we lower the threshold in regards to the capital investment that you need to make? Do we lower that threshold to maybe half so that more people have opportunity to break in into the market and allow more new blood to come in? Is that the issue? And I'm sorry, Jamal, but if I hear the word consultation from the government one more time, I'm going to blow my brains out. I just can't. How much, speak to taxi drivers. Yeah. Actually sit down like adults in a room, stop ignoring them, because apparently via the article and when I was listening to the radio this morning, they've contacted the Ministry of Transport several times and then there has been no response. And it's just like, why doesn't everybody just as adults sit down together in a room, speak to the experts who are out on the road, like you've just rightly said, your friend, uncles, etc. I have friends who are taxi drivers as well, and just all sit down together and then just hash out a plan. Hey, there is a need for more transportation on the island. Maybe our island's too small for Uber or all these other things. But how can we make it so that more people have accessibility to become taxi drivers? There's more flexibility. There's less, financial uptick from the beginning. How can we make it easier for people? I just feel like it's just always such a hard line. It's difficult because I feel like it's always no. Why can't we just get in a room and actually have a talk about it? Hey, let's make a decision together, as a family, Bermudian family. Let's do this. We got to stay catered to our tourists. We got to cater to locals. There's lots of people who have, in need of taxis every day. So our seniors or people who have, physical, maybe they've been in an accident, etc. So there's actually lots of people who need taxis, lots of people who need taxis. Yeah. So, I mean, what audience? What do you think? Do you have?
What are your thoughts, audience?
Who are taxi drivers?
Yeah. What can we learn from the taxi situation in Bermuda, and do you support ride sharing in Bermuda? So Sophia Smethurst says, yes, would love to have ride sharing as an option. I like that. She says, love it to have it as an option. So not to replace cabs, but maybe add it. I remember in New York City. Those yellow cabs were angry because remember, yellow cabs had it in the bag. You had a taxi license and you were in the millions, you felt, right? But then the ride sharing came along and all of a sudden it was havoc, right? And for years, in my opinion, this is not Bermuda related. New York yellow cabs were the nastiest things ever. You had the drivers would be talking during the conversation, not engaging. It was just it became such a lasting experience. And if you remember in New York City, it was hard at one point for Black people in places like Harlem even to get a ride because they wouldn't stop for them due to the crime up there. So I think rideshare actually changed the game there. Can it do that in Bermuda? I don't know, but let's see what Charles J. Jeffers II says. I support ride sharing in Bermuda, but I believe those holding a taxi permit should share in the profits of any rideshare app. Oh, thoughts on that, Mia?
I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. I think it's very innovative. And again, sitting down in a room and thinking up creative solutions, because yes, while in New York City, of course, that was a huge, when Uber came in, they were a huge disruptor, but we can't really compare New York to Bermuda. Bermuda is so small. There's got to be small town solutions that we can use in order to, I love that idea that they have shares in it so that everybody feels like they're part of it and everybody is getting, getting their money. Because that's what people are getting upset about, is because if all these rideshare apps come in, I can't buy groceries for my family, or that's not okay. That's absolutely not okay. But yet I always want to encourage entrepreneurialism, absolutely. But in what way do we how does it come in? Like how do we, and then I just think that the response from the government has just been so poor. What I heard on the radio this morning, it's just like, well, there's nothing we can do to stop it. What do you think about the response? It's just like they're A, not responding, or B, just kind of saying, oh, well, there's no legislation in order to stop these types of things, and we have to do consultation.
Let's see. Suzanne Ingham says, if they have ride sharing, that it needs to be fair game for the taxi drivers and cut all the expenses. If government refuses to cut the taxi's expense, then the ride sharing will have to meet the standards like the taxi drivers. Well, yeah, if taxi drivers have to pay $1.20 or whatever it is, ride share person should have to pay that, right?
Yes, of course. But is that what's? I mean, I think there's a lot of taxi drivers who are on Hitch, but will these kind of, I don't want to call them like gypsy cabs, but will they have to then indeed make the same type of financial contribution? If they do, that's great news for everybody, because everybody, then there'll be a bigger pot, so.
Yeah. Audience, what can we learn from this situation, though? Like, I'd like to know from the audience what we can learn from this situation involving the cabs. This is ongoing. I mean, let's go back to the days of former Premier Dr. Ewart Brown and the taxes. I mean, that was like a war thing, right? Whether we like it or not, history actually proved Dr. Brown right in terms of, GPS and cabs. I think history kind of did prove him right. Like, we needed to move towards it. But I think one of the concerns back then was that people felt that, they alleged that it was about Dr. Brown having some sort of interest in it at the time. But history proved him right. But what are your thoughts? I mean, that was the argument back then, GPS being forced on cab drivers. What are your thoughts now? I mean, seems like an ongoing thing between the cabbies and the government. Janet Maynard says it's not easy getting a cab in the evening. What is the law? Does anyone know the law? Cabs are supposed to be on the road, 16 hours a day? What's the law?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. See, that there's a lot of gray area. I think consumers don't really know what the expectations. So I think the expectations of cab drivers are like they should always be working, but they do need to have some time, to go home and see their families or have something to eat or, etc. But they are hard. Like I said, the tourists that came in to see me the other day, they are hard to get in the evening. They can be hard to get in the evening at times, which I think, Jamal, goes back to your point before. I don't think there's enough. I honestly, I mean, who's got $120,000 just to start a business? I certainly did not.
For real, you're not lying. It's a huge investment. And it reminds me, Maya did a story, and I always bring this up years ago about, it was, I forgot what it was about. It might have been abortion. But my point is, there are so many laws on the book. You learn through stuff that there are so many laws on the book that we don't even care to look to revisit until we're in a position. And I think, why aren't conversations being had about maybe changing that, lowering that? Like, is the value of the permit still the same?
Well, I agree. It's 2024. We're still operating like it's the 80s.
Yeah. And thank you. Maya did just confirm 16 hours a day as reported in 2019. That's the minimum. So that is a lot of time. I mean, but I don't think the cab driver is expected to be on the road. But that's 2 full-time. Well, if we go based on full-time, 8 hours a day, I think it'll be, you, the cab owner, and then me coming to you, the cab owner, to drive for a second job or another shift. I think that's what, it's designed for. But let's go back to the audience before we bring Maya in for the Daily Hour news break. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, yes, I think rideshare would be a great option to add to public. Also, the bigger issue, I believe the laws on the books for taxis need to be enforced. All right. Maybe another word people have started hearing, reformed as well, but maybe needs to be reformed. Manuela John says, are all the taxi permit holders as active as they should be? Is that monitored? I mean, I, for one, am not able to monitor whether someone's cab's on the road 16 hours a day.
No.
Let's be fair. Let's be fair to the cab drivers. Think about this, man. So let's say you own a cab, right? You have a family, right? You have James and Connor, your husband and your son.
Yeah.
And you go out and work your 8 hours. The second part of that is you need someone to drive that other 8 hours to comply with the law. That's not easy.
It's not easy, but if you're looking, just say you have two people, then I say to you, hey, Jamal, you also have a kindred, entrepreneurial spirit. Why don't we do day, night, on, off, and then we kind of work it like that. So we co-own the business together, and our asset is the taxi. And then we split the profits.
So what happens if one of us is sick or goes on vacation? Like, we're not complying with the law, right?
No, you're not. So I know. And it's hard because I actually found myself in this very recently. My mom and I both got on jury duty, called at the same time. We had literally no one else to run our business. So actually, I really empathize with that because we were both just looking at each other like, uh-oh, like, what are we going to do? Because here we are, just stood here. So what are you going to do? So I guess if you did have like a pool of maybe 6 of you who are all, shared part of the pie, of the taxi pie, and all invested together, then that would spread out the load a bit more than just 2 people. So maybe if there was like 4 of you, then that would be great as well. But I think that, yes, the ride sharing app is great, but their threshold for taxi licenses should be lowered, allowing more people to enter, and then the rideshare app just being applied for taxis only.
All right.
Correct insurance, etc. You would hope.
Let's go back to the audience. We've got to bring Maya in. We've got Darryl Herrick coming up. Charles H. Jeffs II says, with my idea, taxis and ride shares will be on the same app. Taxis would have an opportunity to take a job before it's available to the ride shares. I like that, Charles. He goes on to say, we need to be honest. Many cabs are not available for hire 16 hours a day. Yeah, I think that's an issue. I mean, it's difficult. As I'm just talking to me about it, it's difficult. Mariana Texera says, if taxi owners hired/shared their taxi so it is on the road to cover the whole time. So I love this conversation. Hopefully there are some government officials and cab drivers tuned in. What I'd like to see is people come to the table and find the best solution for everyone. And when I say everyone, residents, visitors, just the island itself. And we need a functional transportation system to be a decent, not even a great, but a decent destination to do business, to any kind of business, whether it's big business, IB, or tourism. But we need a fully functional transportation system. Before we could bring Maya in, Ian Waddington says, when government turns a blind eye to gypsy cabs, it opens the door to all kinds of rogue ride share apps. Indeed. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break. Don't go anywhere. I just want to say another thank you. I didn't thank 3 people. Thank you to Traveling Trotty. She says, happy birthday, Jamal. Sophia Smithhurst, thank you. She says, happy birthday. And Jamaica Smith, thank you. Yes. And I am 43 for clarity. So, you folks in that 60 years old at Teray is starting. No, I'm not there yet. All right, let's bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break. Another 20-something-year-old. These young people. I don't know. they missed out on the 80s.
They did.
Good morning.
What are you laughing at, MP?
Oh, no, you just said that I missed out on the 80s, and I just remembered this meme I sent to my sister the other day, because obviously she has a daughter, my niece, and it said, one day you're going to have to tell your daughter that you're older than AI.
I'm way older than, yeah. It's all good. MP, rideshare, taxis. Do you ever use taxis or any rideshare apps in Bermuda?
Well, I got my bike, and I feel like that just gets me where I need to go. So no, I don't necessarily use taxis. And I'm not a heavy drinker at all either. When I go out, maybe 1 drink, then water for the night. So I never really need a designated anything. So yeah, I can't remember the last time I actually used a taxi other than having not the best experience. It's like heads or tails sometimes, but most of my experience will come from the airport going home whenever I land in Bermuda. And that's always been fine, always been great. So that's my experience, really. But when it comes to like the whole ride sharing things, I mean, it's just to be expected. The world's traveling in these different directions. It's like what you say, Jamal, all the time. Like, things are going to happen. You're going to either need to adapt to it or learn to go through it as well. Like, you can't just let things happen to you, though. Prepare for it and be ready for it. Give some other service, maybe accommodate some other thing that's not there. See a need, fill a need. And these are just unfortunate things that are going to start to happen in propel. We've been seeing it for the last 10 years, even, that this conversation has been like around in Bermuda. So obviously it's going to be hard for a lot of the taxi operators, and I'm hoping that they get what they need out of it, because I know they're fighting for so many other things, like even the increase in their tickers and stuff. So it's been a long journey, a hard journey for them in this business. So honestly,
yeah, it's been an ongoing fight. What we got today in the news?
Well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. Quite a bit this morning, just things that you need to be paying attention to and aware of. So the government's trying to put out this survey about chain link fencing. It's a public survey you could take part of and just go on planning.gov.bm to be a part of it. Basically, they're deciding whether or not they're going to put up these different types of fencing across the island, and they're not going to look as pretty as you see in that picture there. So it's kind of about whether or not it's going to seamlessly go with Bermuda's architecture and what we already have going on. They just want to know how you guys feel about the style, the material that's going to be in use, and basically what it's going to look like across the island. So that's the main story there. If you want to go ahead and fill out that survey, tell them what you think about having these chain links, whether or not it's on your property or not, and what that's going to look like for Bermuda.
Oh,
I think they're hideous.
I never even considered chain link fencing something of importance. My apologies.
When it came out, I thought the same. I was like, it's interesting that this is what they want our opinion on, whether or not. But we do take pride in what our island looks like. So that is something that people might want to consider, that they don't like it or not.
Hold on. I must say to Ray, I'm glad she said it. So and Mia, I'm glad you reacted that way, because I'm like, thank you. Chain link fencing? Like, is that what we're okay? Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Other than that, there is some island-wide travel disruption that's going to be hitting you guys for about 6 months, actually. So pay attention to this notice that was put out by the government.
Beginning September 30th, the Ministry of Public Works will commence a project to enhance the safety and stability of Scour Hill and Sands. This essential 6-month project involves replacing a 230-foot retaining wall along Somerset Road between Ledgelets Lane and Lantana Road. To ensure public safety, a temporary one-way traffic system will be implemented 24/7 for the duration of the project. Vehicles heading towards Dockyard will follow a one-way route starting at Ledgelets Lane. Motorists traveling towards Hamilton will use a separate one-way lane along the railway trail starting just before Lantana Road. Special arrangements will be made for large containers and heavy loads.
One thing I will say, Bermuda definitely has a lot of money to do some work, man.
Do we?
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a big disruption for, I know, a lot of people for 6 months. That's going to be quite a lot of time taken up. Now, in other news, I want to ask you guys this question. Why would you think that the Department of Natural Resources would have to enter a cruise ship before it docks in Bermuda?
To make sure they don't have like bugs and stuff, right?
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. So at present, on September 2nd, so quite recently, the Department of Natural Resources had to go on board because they reported spottings of a spotted lanternfly. It's an invasive insect species found aboard 2 of the cruise ships traveling from the U.S. to Bermuda. And so inspectors had to go onto the ship and, find out that luckily there were no live specimens that were detected, but still they had to clear out the whole thing, make sure everything was dead, do their performance inspections upon arrival before the vessels actually got to dock in Bermuda, make sure that it was clear before it entered and had no significant pests found on board. Now, just so you guys know just a little bit about these lanternflies and just how crucial and crazy it'll actually be if they actually board at Bermuda, here's the story.
The invasive species has been spotted in at least 12 states this year.
Their mouth parts are basically a straw, so they stab them into plants and drink plant juices. Well, the plants need those plant juices to make new leaves and to make fruit.
Dr. Mark Willis, an entomologist who studies bugs, says fruit quality and quantity could suffer. In all, more than 70 plant species are at risk of death, with officials specifically warning the pests could seriously threaten grape, orchard, and logging industries, potentially costing the economy hundreds of millions of dollars each year. So what can you do to save everything from beer hops to peach, plum, and poplar trees? If you spot these eggs, scrape them into a bag of hand sanitizer, seal it, and throw away. Also watch out for oozing plants with a fermented odor, sticky fluid, plus sooty mold. And if you find the pesky pests themselves,
they can't bite you. They don't have a stinger. You can help us all out if you step on it.
And when you see the red, squish.
I'm torn because I love nature. I just, stuff like that just makes me not want to go out into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to respect it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be killing things. I want to respect it. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but these guys don't even have any natural predators either. So if they come, there's nothing that we would
Right,
have that would actually eat
and
it.
it makes me think of the lionfish situation. It's like, well, Jamal, we got to do something. I mean, for invasives, exactly. This is what I'm thinking. It's like, I don't want to be that person, but we got to do what we got to do, right?
Yes, even I would kill them. Not into and I don't kill even like ants or anything.
Exactly. She's the environmentalist here, folks. So I mean,
But yeah, we don't need that in Bermuda. But that's a great job for the Department of the Environment who went and sorted all that out. Good job.
Yeah, luckily, they only found dead ones and they cleaned out the vessel. But, just keep an eye out because obviously that would really, really hurt our agriculture here in Bermuda if that was to come on island. All right, so in some international news, I'm sure a lot of people have been tapped into it. But yes, Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump met for the first time in person for their first presidential debate together in Philadelphia. So they sparred over topics including inflation, foreign wars, immigration, and abortion rights, with many striking contrasts and high amounts of fact-checking actually throughout this. But multiple news reports that Vice President Kamala Harris won that debate.
How much time I got? Because we got a guest today. We got Darryl. I love talking to Darryl. We talk business, but let me just say this. I know that people fought for our right to vote, and I'm supposed to vote, and I just registered to vote again. And they took that privilege from me in Bermuda, so I can't vote in Bermuda. So might as well take advantage.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet, because you all gonna be fighting for me. But I find it. I don't know if anyone saw the clip of Usher yesterday on The View, right? I appreciate what Usher said on The View yesterday. Usher's not going to be bullied into telling people who is voting for or why he's voting for them. He basically said, look, that's an individual choice people have, so on. I too believe that. I'm not going to be here swaying you either way. But based on my experiences, that's how I make my decision. I find it hard to believe that anyone can vote for someone or anyone who has absolutely so much disdain for people like that, who literally their whole vibe says, I'm willing to take from you to make another group happy. I don't think that should be politics. Politics should be, what can we do to improve the lives of the majority? What can we do to help people? I just thought that, as entertaining as I found it, it was sad. It was sad that out of 330 million people, these are the two people we have to choose from. Because we can sit here and say one person was delusional and crazy. We're not going to deny that. But that doesn't make the other person any better just because the other person was bad. We've got to get to a place where we can admit, like in Bermuda, if we can say we just have two bad political parties, we have two bad political candidates. We had two bad political candidates in 2016 in the US, and we had two bad political candidates in 2020 in the US. And I don't think that's changed. However, one is way more extreme than the other. And as I said on Twitter, X or whatever Elon wants to call it, right? This is the definition of the lesser of two evils. I'm sorry. I'm done.
All right, let's close out this morning with some sports-related news. So I told you guys this week that the Bermuda women's field hockey team will be playing at home on our pitch in Bermuda this coming 21st to 28th. So I got to speak to Coach Coven Moody about so what is this tournament about and what does this mean for the team?
For field hockey in particular, you have these two massive tournaments, on a rotation every 3 to 4 years. One is the Olympics and the other is the Field Hockey World Cup. So we're currently in the Field Hockey World Cup pathway, and the Pan Am Challenge is the first step in that pathway. It then goes to the Pan Am Cup, and then eventually the World Cup. So it's great for us to be a part of a different, pathway of a different process. It's been incredible to just know that other nations that we haven't actually played, in the qualifiers for the CACs or the CSC games are going to be, part of this tournament.
And also just talk about him being here for now almost 3 years now on the island. And we talk a lot about trying to bring Bermudians back home or even having workplaces for other people to be in Bermuda. So I asked him, like, what has he learned about, the atmosphere of the sporting world in Bermuda?
And I just realized in the time that I've been here, Bermudians love live sport. Even if they don't know anything about the sport, they just love the opportunity to go and support, their national team or players. And then cheer for them. So I know during the qualifiers, there were so many people who didn't know anything about field hockey in the crowd, but just were screaming and shouting for their national team because it was a big tournament that we were hosting. So I'm just hoping that is going to happen again because the sport was absolutely incredible. And I know the ladies they love having it. And for me in particular, I love the atmosphere that gets created whenever you're playing a home tournament. It's a little bit of an edge. It's something that you can't really explain, but there's a feeling there,
And there you have it.
Yeah, I like. I wonder if he can coach me and train me for my basketball game, my upcoming game. But go ahead. Sorry.
But, we know that our boys football team definitely had a very important game that they had to play. So let's hear about these results from our lads.
It was a game of many chances, many on-goal shots, and incredible saves. And of course, a game of victory for Team Bermuda as the men's national team defeated Antigua and Barbuda 1-0 with a Kane Critchlow goal. A game that was crucial to win. And despite their first loss against Dominican Republic, the Gombe Warriors are in second place in their group of 4, narrowly over Dominica based on goal difference. That wraps up the first window of the 2024 CONCACAF Nations League 4.0 until October.
Okay.
Can I just say those Critchlow boys? Sorry, Jamal. I was just going to say those something else.
Yeah, I reserve comment about the national team. I wish Coach Finley the best. I'll say that much.
And looking into our weather today, guys, we got a lot of sunny breaks. 1 or 2 showers actually going to come down a bit. So, just make sure you have an umbrella. If you're on a bike, please bring your rain gear with you and don't be like me. Please bring your rain gear. And we got a high of 82 degrees.
All righty. Mia, you got some days of the year for us?
Yes, I do. Well, today Jamal was born. For all of you who didn't. Okay, it's very special. I'm going to read about people who are born on the 12th of September. Oh. Those born on September 12th will be romantic people with a special way of delivering useful ideas, and you will most likely be very successful. You are an intelligent, creative person who has a special way of overcoming any kind of problem you face.
His head's just doing this right now.
No. But I will say this. I'll say this while Maya's here. Honestly, if I'd be lying if I said this wasn't probably my most successful year professionally and personally. I mean, personally, and I say this to inspire or encourage others. You know how people tell you sometimes you have to trim the fat, right? Personally, I was able to trim a lot of fat between my therapist and my firearms instructor, the discipline that they've instilled in me over the last 12 months. And then surrounding yourself with more good people. I say it all the time, going into business, I left my job earlier this year so that I can work for a company I co-founded full time. Mia, Maya, you both know it's not easy. It's risky. People ask about Maya all the time. Why don't you go work for someone? Mia, you're in retail, the hardest sector to succeed. So taking a risk in the last year really came down to, surrounding myself with people like yourselves. And I'll tell you, this was a great last year for me. And I really, I'm not hoping for a better year. I'm working for a better year this year. And so I'm grateful for everyone who's been a part of the last 12 months. Understanding that it took a certain level of freedom for me to be able to get out and achieve and accomplish what I have. But I could not have done it without every last person who has personally reached out or kept encouraging me, people professionally who have kept me going, even with a slight little comment, and I might respond to it via social media. So thank you to everyone. And I do not take your birthday wishes, words for granted, which is why I will respond to every last person. All right. Maya, we'll see you later.
See you guys later. Happy birthday, Jamal.
Thank you, sister. All right, folks, don't go anywhere. We've got Darryl Herrick coming up. Looking forward to the conversation. I want you to be a part of it as well. Stick with us. We'll be back in 2 minutes, 31 seconds.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses, whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment. We provide 100% guarantee on approved loans, simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
Summer is almost here. Dive into the season with dog floats and dog pools. Enjoy 20% off West Paul's dog floating toys and shop our life jackets for safety in the water this summer. Get all your summer needs before the holidays and events begin. Don't forget to stock up on poo bags and check out Dicky Bags, the poo bag holder that locks in the smell until you can dispose of it. Remember, even dogs need sunblock, so visit Noah's Ark today, Bermuda's most trusted animal supply store for all your summer essentials, and ask us about our rewards program.
You think you know Bermuda? Well, put your knowledge to the test on Bermuda Trivia, the game show. Whether you're a history buff, a culture connoisseur, or just love your island and people, this is your chance to shine. Show off your skills, win cash prizes, and prove you're the ultimate Bermuda expert. Don't miss out. Your spot on Bermuda Trivia awaits. To be considered as a contestant, register by sending us an email at contact@bermudatrivia.com. Registration deadline is September 10th. All right, welcome back to the big show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. She's Mia Chambray. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. I did get a message that they have extended the deadline. If you want to chance to win some money on Bermuda Trivia, the game show, you can still send an email to contact@bermudatrivia.com. Yeah, I think that's the message. I forgot it was yesterday it was sent to me. I'm getting old, folks. I'm a year older. I can't remember like I used to. All right, without further ado, let's give a warm TDH welcome to our guest for the day. We're talking business, folks. Pitch competitions. Mr. Darryl Herrick from Global Atlantic. Calm down. He's been here before. Well, goodbye. Oh, you're on mute, Darryl. We've got you on mute. Got to take you off mute. Oh, still on mute. Got to click that button. Uh-oh.
Hey, Jamal, who would be your dream guests for Bermuda Trivia?
You. I think you have personality. You've got personality.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I was thinking my mom would be amazing on it.
Bring your mom along.
Yeah, she would be good. Darryl, how do you know?
We're probably gonna have to X Darryl out and bring him back in. He doesn't know how to mute himself.
It's okay.
No, I think honestly, Bermuda Trivia is so much fun. If you've watched the show, it's hilarious. Watching people come up with even if they don't know the answer, how they're processing their thoughts and their thinking. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I love game shows anyway. Like I love game shows like big time. So I think Bermuda Trivia is so fun.
Yeah, no worries. I would say I think it's rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
It's rewarding.
I think so too. And what's your favorite game show?
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I was not expecting that from you. Oh my gosh, I used to love watching The Price is Right. Audience, what are your favorite game shows? I mean, obviously, Computer Trivia is one, and then they have one in the UK which I was like obsessed with. It's called Say What You See.
Yeah.
Say What You See. And they would like put these like cards up, and it'd be like this little guy called Mr. Chips. I don't know. And then he would do this thing, and you had to figure it out.
But you know what? Teray says Family Feud. That was my absolute favorite.
Oh yes, I love Family Feud too.
Yeah.
We should do
well, we used to play Feud on the show. We should bring it back. We should bring it back.
Gosh, yes, that would be so fun. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. So we're gonna have Darryl coming on. Folks, don't go anywhere. He's coming on. We're gonna have a conversation about the pitch competition in a bit. But again, as Mia asked, what's your favorite game show? Oh, Teray is such a troublemaker. She says the TDH group.
I love Teray. You're the best. It's true. I really like. I just love any game show. Oh, I also love The Chase. The Chase.
Okay. I haven't heard that one.
Oh, that's a UK one. Oh my gosh, it is amazing. It's like The Chase. The Chase is on during COVID. Me and a couple of my friends, like a couple groups of friends, we every like week hosted like a new game show, and James and I like did like all these like we made like the background, and we dressed up, and we did the music, and yeah, we're like pretty big game show geeks, I have to say.
I think I got Teray wrong. I didn't see the comment before. She said we should go on. The TDH team should go on Family Feud.
Oh, I agree.
That would be amazing because it would make our group even more interesting when I say let's do this answer and all of you say no, it's that answer and I'm right and you all are wrong. Yeah, let's do it. Larry says Jeopardy. He says Jeopardy.
Jeopardy, that's a great one.
Price is Right. Jeopardy is for really intelligent people. I don't think it's for me. All right, let's bring Darryl in. You know what? He needs another warm TDH welcome. Let's bring Darryl back in. All right.
Hey guys. Hey, can you hear me now? You can hear me now. Oh, good to see you again. Good to see you. Sorry about the audio connection there.
No problem. Look, this is technology. It happens, Darryl. It happens, right? But thanks for coming on. It's early. We love talking business. Me as an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. But for those who don't know, I mean, and you've been on the show before, but hey, we've got new people, new host, Stephen. Just explain a bit about Global Atlantic Re and what the company does before we
go. And first of all, let me say happy birthday, Jamal. I did not Jamal, I did not know this was going to be your birthday when you first invited me on. So glad to be here on such a monumental day. But first I just want to say, thanks for the opportunity here. I think that I love what you and Maya and Mia and the Daily Hour community do for the community. And it was really it really impacted me when I saw what you guys were able to contribute to last year's event when we talked about the GA Re Foundation and the pitch event. Because I think right after we got off this show, something like 12 applications flooded in within 24 hours. So. Love what you're doing. Thanks for creating visibility for the GA Re Foundation and for the pitch community. And, really appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. And I remember a CEO of a bank came on and he said, man, as soon as we got off, our bank customer service department was flooded. That's the goal. With us being here, we want to ensure that our audience trusts this platform, the guests trust this platform, and that they can collaborate beyond the conversations that we have. So thank you for trusting us and coming back on. For those who don't know, what is Global Atlantic Re, what does the company do?
Sure, I'll go real quickly. So GA Re and Global Atlantic is really a very large an insurance and reinsurance company, and we've actually been based in Bermuda now for roughly 20 years. When you go back to our predecessor company, we have almost 60 folks employed and living on the island. And if you go, also, we have 10 offices in the United States, and we have 1,600 people there. And really what we are is an insurance and reinsurance company where we're providing folks support through annuities and life insurance to kind of help them and their families with their retirement needs. And I'll just say, a lot of this is apropos because GA was at one point a really a startup in some ways, and we needed funding. We have a real entrepreneurship mindset. So, we're just excited to really talk about the foundation and the pitch event. But, hopefully everyone, went to last year's event, encourage everyone to go on this year, and just looking forward to talking through it today.
Yeah, indeed. And can you just explain? I mean, it's exciting. I mean, we love it. We've got quite a few entrepreneurs on our team. Why has Global Atlantic Re decided to continue its support for the Wave of Opportunity pitch?
Yeah, so just the GA Re Foundation was started a couple of years ago because in all of our communities, the 10 communities in the U.S. and obviously in Bermuda, we want to try to give back. We think it's important to get people to be not only giving in the community, but giving back to the community. And so the GA Re Foundation was incepted 2 years ago with the idea of how can we make a really big impact, particularly in Bermuda, where you can make such a big impact. And so we came up with the foundation idea, which is to follow our 3 values, which is environment, entrepreneurship, and education. And so embedded in that, we started working with Arika Smith and Jamal Lodge at the BEDC and started talking about how can we get involved in really entrepreneurship, driving entrepreneurship and job creation, which can support those 3 values of Global Atlantic. And so we came up with the idea of the pitch event to sponsor that. Last year, we had a record number of people, thanks to your help. This year, we have an even bigger. I think applications are up 150%. We had over 200 people show up last year to the event itself. A lot of people from the government and all over the community. And so I think when we saw that success, we originally said, well, let's just do it every other year because that's what we had the funds to do. That's what the GA Re Foundation had the funds to do at that time, which was $1 million over 4 years. And we saw the success. And so we actually we went back to Arika and her team and said, we'd like to do this every year. Not just every other year. And we've actually increased our foundation. I'm really excited to say from $1 million to the Bermuda community to $3 million to the Bermuda community over the foreseeable future.
Wow. Before you give my thank you. Seriously, thank you.
Yeah, seriously.
Absolutely. No, we really do want to give back to every community that we're in. We love it. I think it really helps our employees also feel part of the community. I think the community be part of the our company's success. And so no, we're just super excited. We couldn't be happier with where it got to over the last couple of years.
Indeed.
That's so exciting, Darryl. And I love like your the values of your business. It's incredible. And this is kind of I heard about the Wave competition for the past couple of years, but how do you hope that winners utilize their grant, in their businesses? So you obviously now upped the ante from 1 to 3 million, which is, as Jamel said, thank you. As a Bermudian, I cannot thank you enough for that. But how do you hope that these winners utilize their grant in their businesses?
So, we're not prescriptive per se as to how they should use it, but I think, you could look back at some of the winners that we just had last year. First of all, we want them to be, it has to be contributing to the Bermuda economy. It has to be contributing to the Bermuda community. That could be in a few ways. One, and I think first and foremost is job creation. That's the biggest one. If you can create jobs and you can create employment people like, you've got a better community. So that's number one. If people can hire people with this money, that's fantastic. We saw some really interesting people. Tia Crockwell with OnSite last year. She actually bought some really important technological equipment to support her firm, and that catalyzed her sales and ability to do things. I think if you can align it with job creation, if you can align it with obviously a benefit to the community, particularly if it gets back to the 3 E's that we talked about, education, entrepreneurship, and environment. We love people who get involved with things like sports, and there's ways to give back to the community that. So I think the grant money, we're not prescriptive in how to use it, but I think if it's benefiting the overall community, that's what we're most supportive of.
Indeed.
I love that so much, and that's very in alignment, I think, both Jamel and I's like personal and professional goals as well. And what kind of different grant categories will there be this year as part of the Wave competition? And how are they judged? That must be so hard when you have so many people, entering. We had to do something for an internship this year, and we met them all. And at the end, my mom and I, who I have my business with, we just said, we love all of them. We don't know who to choose. We really did. So, what are the categories and how are they judged?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. It is difficult, right? We had a lot of great applications last year. Not everyone could win. But a lot of those people who did not win last year came back this year and, have a very good chance to make it into the final round this year. They may have learned a little bit more about how to pitch their business. They may have tweaked their business model a bit to be more impactful to the community. It's tough. We have a great set of judges. The BEDC has people on the panel. We have people on the panel. There's people from the Bermuda community, throughout the Bermuda community on the panel. It is difficult. I think it's both a combination of what need in the community is that serving. I think Maya said it in her point. Are you serving a need and are you filling it? And then I think it's also really, do we think it'll be successful? And then it's ultimately part of the person, right? Can the person pitch it? Do we think the person's the right person to kind of take that forward? It's always tough, but we think we got some great people last year, and I think some of the people that almost made it last year are gonna be successful this year.
Indeed. Audience, if you have any questions or comments for Darryl, please send them through. Darryl, I've been in tune. We've had people on, Keisha from Missouri. We've had Tia Crockle on, who I think has one of the absolute best businesses. I have been in denial, but I did say to my lady friend last night that I will get my eyes tested this month as a part of my birthday. I've been in denial, Darryl.
We're all getting older, Jamel. We're all getting older, but you look younger every year. So
thank you, Darryl. Thank you. I appreciate you. But no, you told no lies. I mean, having watched it, you had some great people. Davita with the Vita Fusion. Young lady recently, Sebriana Wilkinson. She was on the show recently. She was on. I mean, they're just some amazing people. But what would you say from past winners? What has stood out for them that just made them winners in this competition?
Presentation mattered a lot. I think being able to clearly communicate your business was important. I think filling the need, they identified needs in the community that maybe we didn't even see. And so I think that was really, really helpful for people. I think being, creative, people who, there is two components to it. There's your pitch, which is 5 minutes, and then there's the Q&A session. And I think you learn a lot more about people in the Q&A sometimes than you do the pitch itself. And so I'd say, do you see something you're passionate about, that you believe in, that you think fills a need? And can you articulate it? And can you kind of see a vision for that growth? I think all of those people you just listed, whether it was the 3 adult winners, Gavin Carter, who was a People's Choice winner, or Sabriana, who was the youth winner, all were able to encapsulate that in their pitch.
Indeed. Awesome people. We have a question. Kara Sumner, she's asking, other than the capital injection to the winning entrepreneurs, does Global Atlantic contribute or support the winners in any other ways?
Yeah, well, I appreciate that question. So I think, we do. So we work with the BEDC, not just to give money, right? So we're obviously on the panel, et cetera. We really want to leverage and understand more from the BEDC how they think about it. They've got these great boot camps. They've got these great incubator teaches and forums. We are happy to continue to contribute back to that, maybe helping participate in the boot camp or the incubator programs. I think the other thing we did, we had Tia on site here. Every one of our employees got an eye check. I had to get some prescription glasses I didn't know I needed. But I think we are trying to figure out ways to both help them from a guidance perspective or mentorship perspective if they need it, but also help support their business directly. I mean, obviously Gavin's butter, we all love that. We bring that into the office here a lot. So we try to do it both mentally, coaching wise, but also obviously just supporting the business directly.
Indeed. Gavin, Gavin, we love you. We've had you on a couple of times. That wonderful idea. Love it. Jessica Lightborn says, this is fantastic. Thank you, Global Atlantic. And thank you, as always, Jamel and team, for supporting entrepreneurs and the economic and environmental well-being of Bermuda. So just obviously the deadline's passed for the pitch, but when does the actual event take place where people like the public can view and be present and witness it?
Yeah, absolutely. And my battery is going to die here in about a minute, but I'll go through that. So November 21st is the pitch event, and this is an awesome event. It was over 200 people last year. This year we got applications are up 150% from last year, which is a record year. November 21st, Hamilton Princess. We're going to have the Minister Jason Hayward's there. He's been a huge supporter of this entire event. We're going to have 5 winners total, 3 of them are from the adult category. 1 is from the youth category, which is 16 to 25-year-olds. And then we're going to have 1, which is the People's Choice Award. So they will all pitch. There's going to be 10 people pitching for those 5 spots. And basically they will sit in front of 200 plus people, pitch their business, deal with the Q&A from the panel, and then will ultimately be awarded. 4 of them will be awarded that night. And then the People's Choice will be voted on by the public. And that will be voted on for the course of the following week or 2 weeks. And then that will be selected by the public. And you can vote on the bedc.bm website. I would encourage everyone to go to this. Go to bedc.bm, RSVP for November 21st. It's a great event. Hamilton Princess is a fantastic area to do it. It's really well catered and done. I think it supports the people. It supports your family, your friends, your loved ones. But also, if you didn't win, you didn't make it. Come see what the pitches are like. See who wins. See what they're pitching. It might help you for next year as well.
Indeed, Darryl, thank you so much. Looking forward to this event this year. I'm excited for various reasons, but thank you so much for making time for us, believing and trusting this platform. And we hope that it is another successful wave of opportunity pitch competition. We'll talk
Thank
to
you, Jamel. Thank you, Mia. Jamel, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see you again. Thanks for having me on the show.
No problem. Talk soon.
Bye, Darryl.
All right, folks, if you appreciated that conversation with Darryl Herrick, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Entrepreneurship excites me, as you know, but make sure, do me a favor as for a birthday gift. This is what I'm asking for a birthday gift. Like, love, share, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Just do that for us. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We'll give our final thoughts on the discussion and conversation. And we're going to see if Mia gets this. Right. Test her Bermuda trivia knowledge. It's not.
Oh, no.
Did you know 3 out of 4 people say that they have a good understanding of life insurance? But do they really? When asked how much the yearly cost would be for a 20-year, $250,000 level term life insurance policy for a healthy 30-year-old, 80% overestimated the cost by 5 times the amount. Ready for this? The true cost for that policy is about $220 a year. That's as little as 66 cents a day, or $20 a month. So let's put this into perspective. Compared to other monthly costs, isn't getting life insurance a no-brainer? If you can trim back on some of these expenses just a little bit, it will allow you to dedicate the savings toward an affordable life insurance policy. Contact one of our life insurance agents today to find the right policy for you.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All right, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to Darryl Herrick and Global Atlantic for their support, their trust in this platform, and for the conversation. I really love his energy. I really do, Mia. Love his energy. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. New episode of Bermuda Trivia now available on bcgtv.com. The game is available at various stores throughout Bermuda. And if you'd like to be a contestant for next Saturday's next round of Bermuda Trivia, all you have to do is send an email today, contact@bermudatrivia.com. All right. Also follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right. It's a name that place today, Mia. All right. Are you ready?
Place?
Name that place.
Oh, gosh.
All right.
Okay.
Very easy.
Okay.
All right. Mia and audience. This question has been asked on this show before. I'm recycling.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What is the smallest state in the United States of America?
Delaware. Delaware. I thought this is Bermuda trivia. I don't know.
Rhode Island.
I thought you were asking me a question about Bermuda, Jamal.
I said, nope, it's not Bermuda trivia. Yeah. So why did I do Rhode Island today? Because Rhode Island is like my second favorite place after Bermuda. I love me little Rhodey. That's where I graduated, both undergrad and graduate school. Did my master's there as well. I got my career started at radio's Disney. Then it was a morning show at a country radio station, which a lot of people don't know. But Rhode Island will always have a big piece of my heart. And my sister is there. My youngest sister's there now. So on my birthday, I just want to show some love to little Rhodey. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Do you like country music, Jamal?
I did.
I love music.
I am a big fan. Back then, I was big on the Rascal Flatts. They were good to me. I know this is going to sound strange, but one of my favorites was Gretchen Wilson's Redneck Woman. I don't know why, but she had some swag.
It spoke to you.
yeah, man. I'm gonna be real. You know, I can't say the lyrics on this show, but if you yeah, that was classic. But no, I've loved a bit of Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Back then, Carrie Underwood was new as well. Yeah, I mean, I was at a country music station. I mean, I had to learn. I was a producer there, so they embraced it. And a lot of people don't know that. Yeah,
I did not know that about you. That's so exciting. I love country music. I think growing up listening to David Lopes, just like you can't help it. Yeah.
And my nana always had him on. So
mine too.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on this morning's discussion about the cabbies and then the conversation with Darryl. What you got?
So cab drivers, I think maybe they could take a page out of the pitch competition. So maybe they should have some entrepreneurs or taxi drivers or people who are invested in the transportation, business, and they should do a pitch about how they think it should all run and what they think is a solution. That would be actually amazing. And then they could all come together and say, okay, we like so-and-so's pitch. We're going to go with that. So that way it's a community collaboration. What do you think?
I have to start going before you guys because you say such good stuff. I can't follow this up. Seriously. No, I actually love that, Mia. I love that idea. I think, look, at the end of the day, to be a cab owner, you are an entrepreneur. You are a businessman. And one of the things that's changed, I know this small town, but as a business owner, I put up, so this week we celebrated 6 years of BCG being in business, Bermuda Communications Group, which is the parent company of us. And what I posted on LinkedIn, I just want to read that to everyone and I hope someone can share this with the cab drivers, right? But history will show that most small businesses don't last beyond 3 years. I'm proud of what we've been able to achieve thus far and filled with gratitude from the support we've received. Here are 6 lessons I've learned since our inception 6 years ago. Number 1, don't be afraid to maintain full-time employment until your business is financially viable. So cab drivers, if you can have a job as well while you're paying back in your investment, do it. Regardless of the size of your business, it must evolve to meet ever-changing demands in the market. Again, what existed years ago for cabs may not be what's right for cabs today, right? Ride shares are now here. See what you can present, as Mia said, to address that. Number 3, you can't do it alone. Find the right people to build and grow with. You're not going to be on the road for 16 hours. Find 2 reliable people who can support your cab business with you. Number 4, never stop creating new opportunities to grow. As Mia said, give the government a pitch. Figure out how you can help not just yourself, but your community in offering better transportation options for Bermudians and visitors alike. Number 5, relationships matter, especially with your particular industry, within your particular industry. But don't be afraid to seek coaching or mentorship from people you respect and admire. Network. Don't just sit in your cab or, engage with people in your space. Get out there. Develop relationships with Darryl Herrick. You never know. He may have people coming from one of the other 10 offices, and you have a contract to, drive them around. And number 6 was hire or partner with an accountant or finance person early on if you are neither. Why? Because I tell you, you can have the best product, best marketing. But if you don't have the right people, as my former MBA director said, that business will fail. A finance person will keep you in order. So hopefully, those key points will help anyone, especially the cab drivers. And as far as Darryl Herrick and the conversation this morning, I am grateful that a business has decided to invest in Bermuda and clients and businesses to help our economy grow. So I'm grateful to him. Thank you for him. And I'm looking forward to this year's pitch competition. You've got some daily inspiration for us, Mia?
Yes, I have for the birthday boy. And I want to say on those 6 points, Jamal, sorry, it's a two-way street. So I think that while the cab driver should be out there, the government should also be reciprocating. So that's all I want to say about that. That it's a two-way street. But yes, some daily inspiration for the birthday boy. I thought this was very apt for this morning. Youth is a gift of nature, but age is a work of art. So you are a work of art, honey.
I love it. I appreciate you. Well, Suzanne Ingham, she asked, Jamal, we need a joke, please, pretty please. So
Ooh.
I'm going to end it on my birthday. Let's do a joke. All right? All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Here's a dad joke. Audience, you ready for a joke? Here we go.
Woo!
Oh, this is good. Why did the man get fired from his job as a taxi driver?
Why did the man get fired from a job as a taxi driver? I don't know. He was eating too much corn on the cab. I don't know. Thanks for the pity laugh.
It turns out that he was not fair. Get it?
Oh!
That was right. But that was the first one that came out. All right, one last one before we head out. What's the best kind of music to listen to when fishing?
When fishing?
Mm-hmm.
Something that's a school choir.
No. The best kind of music to listen to when fishing? Wait for it.
What's that?
Something catchy. You're like, bada bing, bada boo. I tell you. All right. I've got to get my dad jokes some practice. I got to. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne. Teray, I admit, Mia's was better. I've got to get my joke game up. Thank you. All right, folks. She said something with a hook. Well, that would have been.
Ooh, that was a good one. Something with a hook. Love that.
Yeah. Dad jokes. We appreciate you guys, but honestly, I have to go. I have an important pitch to do today.
Happy birthday, Jamal.
Thank you, Mia. Don't forget to subscribe on our website as a birthday gift. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making this part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Mia Chambray. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.